for this Wallabies side. So just the final preparations and the whistle will get us underway.
Time on.
Loud blast of the whistle, the Rizzo from Italy. And the ball taken by Scotland's number 8, Magnus Bradbury. Scotland will be looking for continued improvement in this competition, having beaten Argentina, I should say, 29 points to 6, but an early offside and a technical penalty will allow, surely, Australia just to have an easy pop at 3 points here on offer.
Surely it's that stage of the tournament now where you need to get the scoreboard rolling, and Dan Elkington there just caught off sides by Elia Rizzo, but Australia in this case choose to actually go for the touchline, so I'm sure a tight maul would be the next option.
So plenty of confidence in this Australian team, turning down the chance of 3 points. Fainga, the hooker, he's got plenty of options in the line out. Driven in the middle now, Australia get the drive going. What a start this would be if Australia could take this one over in the corner. Scotland desperately trying to get bodies behind the ball. And on the short channel, Duncan Piawa, recycle possession. Oh, James Tuttle at scrum half. But it's a turnover ball, Ben Vellacott. Back to Blair Kinghorn. And a turnover there in favour of the Scots, and Australia really putting the Scottish defensive line under real pressure.
Oh, excellent defence there. Good low tackle, which just allows you that player over the top of the ball, and it looks like Lewis Wynn there, who's just made a fantastic turnover under pressure.
Another attacking line out though. Ferretti Saga is the forward, just lifting there at the front of the line out. Falufunga, the hooker, with the added presence and drive. This one's a little bit tighter. Andrew Davidson's over the top for Scotland. Tuttle into Deegan. Deegan steps back. He's well tackled by the Scots defence's opposite number, Rory Hutchison. Tuttle goes in. Number 8 now, Adam Korchik. He's really caught the eye in this tournament. Deegan. Little show of the ball there. Piawa, but good defence once again from the Scottish team. Magnus Bradbury putting the Australian centre under pressure there.
Australia just looking to build the phases, and then we see Duncan Piawa with the speculative offload going to nowhere, and resulting in a line out for Scotland.
So Ross Graham, who gets his first start for Scotland, nails his man Scott Cummings in the middle of the line out. He let well Cummings, and this is where Scotland are strong. Look how much tighter they are in this driving position. And referee Rizzo decreeing that the driving maul is taken down. Ned Hannigan, incidentally, penalised on that occasion. Carlos, Blair Kinghorn clears for touch. It's been one of the features of Scotland's game, their driving play from line out. You've been very impressed with them in the forward chores, both in scrum and line out.
They're very good at the tight phases and setting up a maul with such cohesion and the intricate communication that needs to be done to get that maul going forward. And when you concede such ground, you have to concede a foul.
Ross Graham, who played in 5 of the 6 Nations games, 3 off the bench. As I mentioned earlier, gets his first start out here. He made an impact when he came off the bench against that win over Argentina last Saturday here on this ground. So Scott Cummings, well tackled there by Matt Sandell and from the front row position of Australia. Scotland's Patrick Kelly just gets up towards the 22-metre line. Good turnover there effected by Australia. Tremendous play by James Tuttle, I think it was. But Kinghorn to Hutchison. Hutchison weighs up his options. And this is Robbie Nairn. Nairn gets the fend onto Ned Hannigan. Hannigan, who's dropped from that second row position into the back row, so plenty of height for the Australians in that back five of their pack. Nice hands from Dan Elkington onto Magnus Bradbury. Davidson goes in, he was taken out. Scotland skipper Jamie Ritchie gets the ball away to hooker Ross Graham. Hutchison looks for Kelly. This is Bradbury up the middle. Bradbury, can he go all the way? He's got Coombs outside, and Coombs is under the posts. And what a cracking try for Scotland.
Oh, fantastic stuff from Scotland there. Direct running, carrying the ball in two hands, and it's that man again, Magnus Bradbury. And here we see it from Rory Hutchinson, picking out the big man on his run. Explosive through tackles, looking for the options, and who's onside him? Alec Coombs. He's the go-to man for Scotland at the minute. He gets you go forward, he's direct with his running, keeping the ball in two hands, and Alec Coombs with such pace and power on the outside of him. What an excellent try.
Blair Kinghorn with the easy 2 points, and great delight in the Scotland camp as well. First of all, Magnus Bradbury broke the defensive line, and Alex Coombs from the London Scottish club burst onto the supporting angles a run and scores the opening try for Scotland. Scotland leading Australia by 7 points to 0. Switch kickoff by Australia. On the far side, Richard Galloway there, who's made an impression with his pace. And talking of pace, well, Alec Newsom, the right winger for Australia, plenty of pace there, and of course the attacking threat of Andrew Kellaway, the world under-20 try record holder. He's had 12 to his name. Ball taken by Ned Hannigan at the back for Australia. Ferretti Saaga. Another drive there by Matt Sandel, former Australian schoolboy representative. Deegan comes up against that flatline defence, tackle made by Xander Fagerson. You can see Scotland just fanning out, not committing too many to the rucks. Yeah, Leo Lolotui takes the ball on, this strapping second row player. Slow ball for Australia, so Placid comes into play at scrum half. He has to go and support Matt Sandel. Australia gaining the hard yards here. Pick and drive through the middle is good though from Michael Gunn. Gunn still on his feet. 5 metres out. Here's Australia's response. There's men over on the right. They're attacking wide. Deegan, step back in there from the centre. Duncan Peala. Deegan to Tuipoloto. And Australia really running through the phases of possession here. Plenty of tackles being made for Scotland. Michael Gunn takes the ball. Look and see Deegan's call for the ball though. Deegan makes the pass to Kellaway. Kellaway out wide is Placid. Placid's been well tackled by Blair Kinghorn there for Scotland. Deegan. Tuttle, James Tuttle has a little step back. Deegan, you can see they're wearing that 10 jersey. He has to go and play scrum half. Gets the support of the front forward union. Tuttle. Another good play by Michael Gunn. Picking and driving. This is patient build-up here from the front row of Australia.
We're not going anywhere.
No blast of the whistle, but it sounds as though it might have been an offside, was it?
There. One blue, right back.
Dan Elkington again, that's been pinged offsides. But very patient from Australia and very structured in their attack. But it's the defense of Scotland that's actually frustrated this Australian attack. They've been very patient, very fuel efficient at the rucks too.
Deegan just decides to put the ball into touch, and Australia will have another go at the throw and drive from this line out.
On the line.
Reti Saaga, look at the way the Australians are coming into that line. Follow Sainga.
Gold. Clarification, you can't walk in and jump, take a position and then play.
Those are the words of our referee, Ella Rizzo. Follow Fainga then with the try to use a good camera angle. Look to see this one, but stolen at the back there by Andrew Davidson. Rory Hutchison hasn't found his touch. Finds Alex Newsom. Newsom to Placid. Placid kind of spilt that one. Alex Coombs comes up to make the tackle. Ball's at the back there, but Australia have got back in numbers. Just a sloppy pass from the right winger, Alex Newsom, that put his side under a little bit of pressure. Bradbury. Well, there's no takers there in the slip field there. Tuttle to Deegan. Deegan, well, a bit sloppy once again from the Australians, and it's not what you expect. A missed line out, a couple of loose passes, and they've looked so good in their play pool, or their pool games, I should say, so far.
They've just been lacking a bit of attention to detail in this opening quarter. It's coming from their warm-up. They weren't as slick. There wasn't as much communication. And it seems to be seeping into their game.
Ross Graham with the line-out throw, aimed for the back, taken by Jimmy Ritchie. Rory Hutchison looks to a big clearance kick by Patrick Kelly. Kellaway will be under it. He feeds Placid. Now Placid's got a great break on him. He's looking for that step off his right foot. That's his strong point. Deegan probes the blind side. Good hands, Kellaway up the wing there, got the support from Newsom, but it was good hands. Iawa and to Pelotto in the centre field.
See Australia, yeah, it's that man Jonah Placid. He's very powerful. He's got a really good low centre of gravity, which means he can step off each foot. And it's Andrew Kellaway, yeah, actually just leads with the ball into contact. Good tackle from Scotland, but it results in a spilt ball.
Well, Australia missed out on a semi-final spot and points difference, having failed to secure a match point against a very impressive South African side on this ground last Wednesday. That defeat by 46 points to 13 sees them in this middle tier of competition against the Scots. We were delighted to beat Argentina.
Straight out the tunnel. Reset.
So reset scrum is Ben Velicott. He's the scrum half. And there's Xander Fagerson, the full-time professional with the Glasgow Warriors outfit. Recent winners of the Guinness Pro 12 in the United Kingdom. We should maybe add to that, of course, there's Italian sides that play alongside the Welsh and the Irish teams in that Pro 12 league. Velicott then. Good scrum by Australia, picked up by Bradbury. Bradbury's away. Well, inside him, he had the support of Lewis Wynn. Graham, nice little offload there to Elkington. Slow ball from Velicott. Back to Patrick Kelly. Kelly puts height in it. Andrew Kellaway will have this one covered now. Kellaway to Placid. Finds on the wide outside channel Alex Newsom, the strong winger on that far side. But bundled out of touch, and Scotland will have a put in on that far side.
We spoke about the prowess of the Scotland pack, and it's that man Xander Fagerson there. The three things he gets so right: his feet always planted in the ground, his knees are nice and low, and the power's generated from his pelvis. It's what you need from your tight head prop. He's the cornerstone and allows your 8-man to break off a right wheeling scrum.
Well, a former Scotland coach, Richie Dixon, used to call it the spine and line. Absolutely solid in that front row. Richie at the back once again. And Scotland looking comfortable. Ball in hand. This time Patrick Kelly finds a little bit of space over the head of Andrew Kellaway. 10 tries in New Zealand last year, 2 in this tournament so far. And the net gain for Scotland is a line out on the Australian 10-yard line.
That's a very good net gain. What you normally decide to do after set pieces is to finish on a positive outcome, and there they've gained 30 meters. So Australia rather should now, well, they're under pressure in their own half.
Ross Graham then, he's got the hooking berth from Sam James, who's on the bench. So Graham finds Scott Cummings. Cummings, incidentally, is a black belt in Taekwondo, but popping out the other side. Tremendous play by Australia. Turnover ball, that was just power from the Australians. And Deegan, well, he finds plenty of space. Kinghorn will trap back deep into the 22. Advantage was over, and Kinghorn finds a clearance. But what about this for a turnover for Australia?
Oh, it's the dark arts in the middle of them all. And getting your head in those tight places, but coming away with the ball too. There is Matt Sandel. What upper body strength, and to still have the powers to place that ball long. Excellent turnover.
Fola Faenga finds Ned Hannigan. Hannigan, a bit sloppy at the back, mopped up by the Australians. Nice little interplay, releases Michael Gunn, who spins, burls, and then you can see the way he just pops the ball back like a hen laying an egg there. Deegan. Well, Deegan got the wraparound movement. Kelly goes in to try and make a tackle on Deegan, eventually gets him. Taking a boot to the head. Tayawa, supported by Placid. In goes Alex Newsom off his right wing on that left flank. Now, Leo Lulutui. But Scotland are good in the defence. Look at Bradbury right over the top. But Fola Faenga, well, he came in from an offside position as the ball had been knocked on. And Scotland secure in defence. And this young man, Magnus Bradbury, catching the eye once again.
Oh, he's doing everything technically so well. The art of a counter ruck is to completely disregard the ball and take out the oncoming threats. And eventually the ball gets exposed, and it's difficult for the 9 to clear that. And he's going in nice and low, he's taking out people, and he's completely disrupting that ball. And yeah, we see him, it's a good low tackle, big tackle on the big Lucan Leia, Laulo Tui, and that's that man, Magnus Bradbury, actually taking out 2 Australian defenders there, and it's just completely disrupted that ball. Turnover, Scotland's ball.
And what I liked about that was the way he stayed on his feet. How often do we see players just going to the deck? But he drove well. Tremendous technical position for Magnus Bradbury.
Stefano, timekeeper, quanto hai ancora per il water break? 2 minuti? When you want.
So I'll translate for you. The referee, Elia Arizzo, is indicating that there will be a water break after 20 minutes of play. 1 more minute until that water break. And Carlo De Fava, who's alongside me, the Italian second row, nodding to say that I got the translation spot on. He's fluent in Italian. Overthrow taken by Fagerson, but Velikot to the blind side. Lewis Wynn. In fact, it was Elkington who took that previous ball in for Scotland. Here's the tight head forward. Fagerson, Xander Fagerson. Again, you can see the way that Scotland are going round the corner there. Bradbury with a carry. Hutchison now in the back division to Kelly. Kelly lost the ball in that contact. Good hit there from the Australians. And a pat in the back there for Riley Winter.
And it's that same thing again of leading into the contact with the ball in the wrong hand. it's not ball retention, and you always run the risk of the ball fumbling out or getting hit out of your possession by the oncoming defender.
Well, the double tackle, Riley Winter from the West Scarborough Club across in Perth. He's the only representative from Western Australia. Lovely beaches over there, Scarborough Beach, of course. Good place to go for a warm down. So James Tuttle with the feed in the scrum. And well, a feed taken. Velicott will just tap and go if he can get this ball back.
At 10, crooked feed.
But Scotland slow.
Scrum again, scrum.
Well, confidence from the Scotland scrum. They really feel as though they've got the edge on this Australian 8. It also ties in the 8 Australian forwards.
Oh, it's his positioning that's just so good. He can maintain that strength still while under pressure. It's a strength that they have to exploit, especially in the latter parts of this game.
Well, you can see the way the backs have split with Scotland, 3 on each side. So Velicott will feed the scrum. So he's given another free kick. It'll be interesting to see if Scotland then scrum again.
At 10, guys. Just for scrums.
Jamie Ritchie's happy to scrum. He's the captain of the Scotland team. Took a knock on his knee in the match against Ireland. That match was won by Ireland by 24 points to Scotland's 20. Australia got off to a good start in this competition. They came up against a very good combative performance from Samoa, winning that one 34 points to 22, and then beat the Italian side 31 points to 15. Not a good scrum. Bradbury feeds Velicott back into Bradbury. Bradbury right up and over the gain line. There's Davison. Davison takes the ball into that contact. Velicott switches play, but the referee appeared to get into the wrong position there as Velicott delivered his pass. Turnover ball to Deegan. And Deegan finds it to Pelotto on that outside. And sprinting up the far side is Newsom, the winger, who puts a chip in. Hutchison bounces kindly for the Scots fly half as Kinghorn goes back. Kinghorn found some space, but Jonah Placid will have this one well covered. He likes a counter-attack. Chips ahead. Kinghorn comes forward. Oh, it's fallen into the hands of Jonah Placid, and Blair Kinghorn spills the ball. And it was the softness of the kick from the Australian fullback that enticed the mistake from Blair Kinghorn. And against the run of play, you would say, Placid has got the try for Australia.
Oh, he was just thinking of the next step before he actually had clean possession of the ball. He was in the right position. Excellent play there from Jonah Placid, and just the awareness to actually know where the ball was. You see him here, makes the chip ahead, and just watch Blair Kinghorn as he's thinking of the next step, and Jonah Placid extremely aware, really good reactions, and that's a good try from him. Just drifting off to his right-hand side before he actually had possession of the ball, and this man's very strong, good low center of gravity, and you'll run in tries from that distance.
So Andrew Deegan, he scored 28 points in 3 games. He hasn't found his marker there. And well, the referee's whistle goes, and the game in fine balance now because of that man. Jonah Placid has brought Australia into the game. Scotland lead by 7 points to 5.
Oh, it's a bit of luck and a bit of good fortune there, but he's always aware of where the ball is. He's a dangerous strike runner. He's played really well in this opening 20 minutes. Well done, Jonah Placid.
So the whirling hygrometer has been used again by the officials and match commissioner of the World Rugby Under-20s Championship. And the whirling hygrometer, as you know, Carlo De Fava, is to measure the humidity, and also the player welfare is so important to ensure that these players are well hydrated throughout the game.
It's that time of the afternoon. I mean, over here it's just coming before 5 o'clock. The temperature itself hasn't been that really in the high temperatures, but it's the humidity that just causes all the problems. It causes you to lose fluids. It gets a slight film of sweat onto the ball, which makes the handling slightly more difficult. But the players have coped really well with it. We haven't seen too many handling errors.
And with the score evenly balanced between 7 points to 5, it's been an encouraging game from both sides. Australia will be pleased. The coaching triumvirate of the Australians, Adrian Thompson, Shane Arnold and Cameron Blades. So from the misconversion then, Scotland will have the kick-off on the halfway line. And it just goes to show one little error, one can get a team back into a game. And Jonah Placid, well, as John Dale to your right, your picture, Sean Lanine, the head coach of Scotland, looks on. And they'll be pleased with their opening 20 minutes of this game. It's been well contested by both these teams. Australia were ranked 5th in this tournament, having got 5th last year in New Zealand. Well, the ball's gone straight out there by Blair Kinghorn, so a little error into Kinghorn's game.
James Tuttle there electing to let the ball roll dead, and it just results in a scrum for Australia on the halfway line. And with the attacking ability of these backs, having a midfield scrum and having two sides of the field to attack, they'll be licking their lips for this one.
So Australia going forward to the left of the scrum. There's the threat of Andrew Kellaway outside this picture. And going down the right-hand side, Jonah Placid. Well, we know all about his attacking threats at fullback. And outside him, Alex Newsom. Good scrum by Scotland. Just getting the edge on, but the pickup was loose by Australia as Sione Tuipulotu cuts back in. And Andrew Deegan, well, it's half charged down there by Scott Cummings. The ball ricochets off Galloway. Vellacott tidies up. And the big boot of fullback Blair Kinghorn pushes the Australian teams back deep into the half, and that's going to go its distance as well. So the ball will all go back to where the ball was kicked by Kinghorn. So 2 over kicks by Blair Kinghorn.
Just looking for a bit too much distance there, and Australia actually did well there to actually pick up the ball while it was still in motion, and resulting, as it's gone dead, in a scrum from where the kick actually took place.
Well, this youngster's played for Scotland at under 17, 18 and 19 level, and has signed a contract with Edinburgh Rugby straight from school. He's actually been studying and doing some exams out here. Hope he's been doing well, gets a good grade. So again, the split. 4 down the left-hand channel, 2 on the right. Tuttle. Well, he's fed again, the Australian scrum half, and well, referee Elia Rizzo penalising the Australian scrum half for feeding. And Scotland with a very tight scrum. Do you think that's putting a little bit of pressure on the Australian scrum half's feed?
It has that effect, because what you do is, if you're under such extreme duress in the scrum, the hooker can't actually lift his foot to actually strike the ball. Him doing that, what it does, it lifts the actual whole height of the scrum. Very difficult to do. In that case, he actually did get a strike on it, but it's the second offence of James Tuttle in actually giving the skew feed in.
Ross Graham. They've thrown to Ritchie at the back, and they've thrown again, but this one falls well short. taken by Adam Korchik in that back row. Leo Lolotui, he has a spin and a burrow. And Deegan, little show of the ball by Piawa. And Deegan sets up that counter again, uses Sione Tuapoloto, this midfield combination in the centres of Piawa and Tuapoloto just starting to make their influence tell in the game as Deegan goes down, sticks the little threading kick down into the Scotland 22, and that'll give Australia some very, very good territory down deep into Scotland's 22.
From a forwards point of view, to turn over the line out, the best place to jump is at the back of the line. It's a very short throw, very skew, but it's this kick from Andrew Deegan. What it does, it just keeps your forwards moving forward down the pitch in the heat. It's the ideal thing to do.
Olofahinga then. The ball was spilled to the back by Hannigan, but picked up by Lialeo Loatui. Scrappy in the back, Scotland trying to get turnover ball, but playing the ball on the ground. Playing the player, I think it was Lewis Wynn who got penalised on the deck. Lewis Wynn wearing that number 6 jersey. And Deegan opting just to go for touch. He's got a feeling that the line-out throw is the better option.
The ideal thing to do in the middle of the ruck, keep 2 hands on the ball, present it on a plate so that the 9 can actually deliver the play.
It looked like a fair ball for Lewis Wynn to play there. The referee was in a better position than ourselves. Well, a missed throw at the line-out and a let-off for Scotland.
Option. Scrum. Come here.
Come on, Scotland!
Fulao Fainga, he's got a great work ethic. New South Wales under-20s player.
Ned, give me the call.
Studies at Sydney University. So the put-in will be through Ben Velicott, the Hartbury College student. He caught the eye in the match against New Zealand, and well, he certainly kept his rival, I should say, George Horne, who was the starting scrum half in the Six Nations. He's kept him on the bench. No doubt we'll see George Horne at some point during this game.
Take a proper distance.
Ferretti Sanaga, the loose head prop up against Sander Fagerson. This has been a real feature of this game in the front row. The tight head for Scotland up against the loose head for Australia. Ball spills back, but picked up by Bradbury. The break by Kelly, and Kelly, he's got the space of Velicott, and Velicott is right down into the half. Great covering tackle. Australia got 4 people back. Jamie Ritchie knocks the ball on, and Australia did so well. They got 4 men back to track down Velicott. Deegan steps back in, tackled by Fagerson. Ball taken by Richard Galloway. Galloway, if he can open up, he has got the pace, Galloway, the winger for Scotland. Jamie Ritchie taking ball on. And here's Hutchison. There's men over here. Kelly throws the overhead pass. It bounces favourably. This is Robbie Nairn. Nairn. Well, Nairn looked as though he's in 3rd gear there. Going down that wing, Alex Coombs for Scotland. Graham has a little step back in against his opposite number, Folo Fahinga. And Hutchison crossfield kick. Jamie Ritchie, if the bounce is good, Ritchie might take this. Oh, it's just bounced, unluckily for Scotland's captain, Jamie Ritchie, but almost perfect execution from Rory Hutchison.
Oh, he's got such vision. He looks up, even while he is under pressure, to actually look at the open space. And it's just gone slightly too wide there for Jamie Ritchie. I think it was the right option. And I just love the way that Rory Hutchison varies his depth of attack. Sometimes flat, sometimes deep.
Good throw, finds Ned Hannigan. Hannigan's taken a lot of good line-out ball for Australia. James Tuttle at the base, he'll just clear. Touched by Scotland, so the ball very much in play. Velicott Fires one to Galloway. Galloway not held in the tackle, and Galloway takes the ball on.
It's a ball.
Bellicott to Hutchison. Hutchison stays big. Linkage play by Wynne. This is Dan Elkington, prop forward. And Scotland through Fagerson. This is Robbie Nairn. Well, was he taken without the ball? Jonah Placid was right up on the Scotland winger, forced the error.
Either scrum or line out. Not going to touch. Scrum.
It's the pressure there from Andrew Davidson getting the charge down, which didn't allow Australia to make their distance. And it's the quick hands there from Zander Fagerson. Good pass under pressure, just not able to be taken there by Robbie Nairn.
Yeah, a difficult one for Nairn. If he had been a little bit deeper on that pass and taken it, he may well have got in at the corner, but I thought that the fullback from Australia, Jonah Placid, did very well. Well, an injury here for Zander Fagerson. Concern in the front row fellow, Fainga, getting some treatment there as well. So a little breather, 33 minutes on the clock, and it's been a great game for both sides. They've tested each other, and I think defence is potentially on top at the moment for both teams.
It is. I mean, both teams are actually electing not to actually commit too many numbers to the ruck, which just allows you to have more players on your feet, which gives you a bit more width in your defensive line, gives you more line speed, and allows you to apply more pressure on the attack.
Second to the field. So from free kick to penalty.
Jamie Ritchie just reminding the referee, Elia Rizzo, that on the last scrum for Australia, a penalty was conceded because James Tuttle they deliberately fed the ball squint into the scrum. Well, we've got a perfect camera view here for the Australian scrum half. Let's see if this one goes down the middle. Big scrum by Scotland. They've got the Australians under pressure. Well, technically, that's excellent by Scotland. Will they go for the scrum again?
Getting back and change the angle of push.
I think the option of going for touchline and going for a maul, but look at that, it's a full 8 scrum. Everybody has their shoulders on, everybody's contributing something, and Australia just have no answer for that.
Well, Scotland scored a driving line out in their opening match against Australia. They also put one over against Ireland as well. Can they tighten up here, get the leg position and the drive? The support comes on from Lewis Wynne. Scotland towards that try line. Australia done well. Loose ball at the back, then picked up by Scott Cummings. Cummings has got the ball back. Zander Fagerson cuts back, hits that 5-metre line, but also hits that giant unit as well. Leo Lolatui. Scotland, though, penalised for not releasing in the contact. And the opportunity gone for Zander Fagerson. But Australia did well to stop the driving play for Scotland.
Very good defense there from Australia, under a bit of pressure to actually hold up Zander Fagerson, a big tight head from Scotland, resulting in a turnover ball and just relieving all that pressure.
So a change for Australia. Connell McInerney. McInerney then finds his jumper. Squeals of anguish from some of the supporters here. Alex Coombs. Newsom on that far side, tidies up for Australia. There he is wearing that number 14 jersey. Scotland, though, competing for every single inch on this pitch. And Tuttle has to feed the ball back to Deegan. And Andrew Deegan with a great clearance. And Australia under a lot of pressure as the first half closes out.
And it's those little intricacies at the breakdown that are actually letting teams counter-attack each other. the ability to stay low and counter-ruck, but also the inability of the attacking side to control that ball while you are under pressure in that breakdown is not allowing the line to actually clear the ball away.
Ross Graham hits the man, Andrew Davison. Again, Alex Coombs, well tackled by Sione Tuipulotu in the centre. But Velicott feeds Bradbury. Good hands here from Kelly. Kinghorn's in support. Here's Robbie Nair for the corner. Scotland's Robbie Nair scores, but there's a touch. And Nairn denied the try with a magnificent tackle by Andrew Kellaway that just forced Robbie Nairn to put a foot in touch.
Oh, Robbie Nairn, we know what this man can do. He's got that explosive shot put power and excellent tackle there from Andrew Kellaway.
Conal McInerney. McInerney, the replacement hooker from Canberra. He played in the opening game against Samoa for Australia. Tuttle. Ball then back to Andrew Deegan. He's under pressure. Well, Scotland are throwing everything at the Australians, putting real pressure on this Australian team. And here's the opportunity from a scrum, but here was an opportunity down the wing.
Oh, Andrew Kellaway, doesn't he do so well at the shoelaces, putting the man into touch, balance running there, and Robbie Nairn is a big man. Would have preferred him to drop the shoulder as he went into that. Huge pressure on for them there, and Australia just so close to get to try and get that ball away.
Well, Scotland with huge pressure. This is a really, really important part within the game. With all that pressure, Scotland will want to come away with some reward. That scrum will have to be reset on that far side. Is it Ferretti Saaga? Ex-Samoan under-20s player, and also played for Australian schoolboys in 2013. And Xander Fagerson, well, I'm sure he had some extra porridge in his breakfast this morning, because he's giving Ferretti Saaga a torrid time in that front row, and referee Rizzo comes around the side to see the battle on here. Fagerson doesn't get his bind on. I've got a feeling that Fagerson's enjoying this encounter.
Any tight-head prop is getting that much attention. He's doing really well. He's being so solid in the scrum, but what it allows you to do is it allows your hooker to deliver the ball. It allows your second rows to have something stable to push off, and allows the tight five to work as a solid single unit.
Velicott then will feed the scrum. It's tight in that front row, but it's gone down, and a penalty. Well, Scotland have tended to go for the touchline on this occasion. I just wonder if they should continue to scrum.
I think the election for a scrum.
Listen to the referee.
Either was a free kick or a pen. No, Jamie. No, you. No. Either a penalty or a free kick.
Yeah, mate.
Say always against your side.
Yeah.
So have a word with your front row. Discipline.
Yeah, no problem, mate. Just on this side, mate, he's fucking dropping his elbow every time.
I don't think so.
You reckon?
I'll have a look at it.
Okay, thanks, mate.
Good captaincy, though, isn't it? Just reminding him that he feels that Xander Fagerson's dropping his elbow and getting in there, so...
Post. Yeah, all right.
Well, interesting decision. Carlo, you know, you're a second row man. You've got Australia under pressure there. What would you have done in that situation?
I would have told the scrum straight back into that scrum. Get all 8 in. Something's going to come of it. It's either going to be a penalty try, it's either going to be a yellow card that puts Australia one man short, or it results in another penalty, and you just have to hammer and hammer and hammer away at that weakness.
Well, against Argentina, Scotland turned down the opportunity for penalties and went for scrums, incidentally. And they profited from it, but on this occasion they've decided to take the penalty. Blair Kinghorn, can he close out a very positive start for Scotland? Silence around the Stadio Michele here in Calvisano. What a great setting in northern Italy. Kinghorn for Scotland. Well, he's pushed that one, so well, a disappointing end if you're Claire Kinghorn, if you're a Scotland supporter. But the scoreline, well, it's tight here in Calvisano. More action after the half-time break. Scotland lead Australia by 7 points to 5.